Welcome, Capricorn. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do your full moon in Aquarius reading. Full moon is on the 9th of this month, and it is also interacting with a particular lesser light we call the smaller inner planets, but Mercury is retrograde still at this time. It will be moving forward in a handful of days. And even as it moves direct, it will still be going over its shadow period. So this is actually a wonderful time for us to focus on receiving unconditional love. If that means giving it, it also is a time for you to adjust, shift, to secure your alignment moving forward. The overall energy for this card is the Ten of Wings. This is the Ten of Swords in traditional decks, and I love that wings is representing the element of air, as opposed to swords, which naturally move through the air, as most things do. But this, the swords has more of a nature of communication, pursuit, victory, success. Illumination is what gets picked up by the image of the wings. That as we gain more information, are more truthful in our pursuit of justice, we elevate and we move into a realm that is collective. So we often talk about the collective unconscious, which is where we are moving through and out of. You have completed a long, perilous journey through the underworld, and that has helped you to shed behaviors, attitudes, expectations, even values and principles that do not resonate with who you are and what you hope to achieve or even represent in the world. Tens indicate that you have been already through the worst part of this experience of shedding, releasing, and letting go. You have seen the results of your affiliation or your desire to conform to the expectations of others, and they have left you empty and flattened. Underneath the deck, the Fool card, which is really talking about zero or the number 22. Both numbers adhere to the Fool card. So I love the image of this full cycle, full circle coming to an end, almost like the Ouroboros, the snake biting its tail, and this Fool card starting from zero. So you are absolutely on a new journey, but this journey is one that is powered by your own faith and belief in your talents, your efforts, your experience, knowing that whatever comes at you is no longer judged by you. You are no longer judging yourself. You are moving through experiences, understanding that all challenges are opportunities, and all opportunities are efforts towards growth. You are unconcerned about the destination, but you are concerned with your vision of whole action coming from your heart, coming from your curiosity that makes no assumptions. And then I've pulled a Seed and Sickle card from that oracle, and I pulled up the Holly. And I'm going to look this one up in the Dusk book. This, I believe, relates more to an internal energy that you're experiencing. Things are feeling overwhelming, so it's time to sit back and focus on yourself. Spending time reacquainting your body and your mind is not a selfish act. Through balancing yourself and becoming more self-aware, you're better positioned to help the others who you're worrying about. In the Celtic Orgam calendar, holly is a plant of peace that represents balance and recentering. This card is encouraging you to meditate, take a walk, have a bath, do whatever makes you feel the most relaxed. This time is for you. I love this. And I'm going to use this card to kind of shield the next card a little bit. And I'm going to talk about it briefly, but I want to protect myself and my audience from censorship. Um, this is a general reading. It is not going to resonate for all of you. So I definitely want you to take what is useful and discard the rest. If you're not vibing with the reading, it's okay to abandon it. I understand. You will find yourself among your other placements. Having said that, for the 10th house, the 10th house is the house of your social identity, the way others see you, what you expect from the world and to give to the world. And the goddess of columns is equivalent to the king of wands. And why that is so is a long story. However, this card indicates the amount of energy, heart, and passion with which you are pursuing this greater, more spiritual journey that you're undertaking. You've undertaken it for a while, and it is what helped you power through this long trudge underground, facing your demons, looking at your inner conflicts, those behaviors that brought you shame or a sense of oppression in your experience. But you're now really using that springboard of lightness, of having shed all of these heavy burdens in order to move and be empowered by this beautiful, strong heart, desire, and will of yours. You are motivating others. Your actions are modeling and inspire others. So this is the kind of leadership that you provide in your community, at your job, even in your home. You are someone that others look up to, consult, model themselves on. In the first house, the 10 of Vessels is describing your perspective and your attitude. And no surprising that the 10 of Wings, which has stripped you of so much that you have carried for so long in life, is now being healed and cleansed by the 10 of Cups. This is this whole beautiful experience of finding complete absolution in your experiences, letting go, feeling yourself lightening, washed clean, purified, detoxified, clarifying your essence, simplifying your life in many ways, and realizing all that surrounds you, that supports you, that gives you joy, that loves you back, that shares with you, listens to you, that you listen to. These are all the parts of a resourceful community that you feel thoroughly embedded in. You, even though you are alone, you are moving forward on your own journey, you understand that it takes a village, that you are a part of a larger beating heart that is your community, that you contribute to, that feeds you. This is beautiful energy of feeling absolutely contented with the results of your journey. And this is a journey that never stops. We never stop growing. We never stop shedding. And so you have come to a place where you understand it is about the journey. It's about how we manage, participate in the journey that defines us, rather than solely the outcomes of that journey. In the fourth house, the house of your soul, your foundation, the Seven of Columns is describing that awareness of how you are utilizing, sharing your energies, quite often out of habit. And particularly for those of you who were conditioned, as most of us are, most of we women are, to prioritize the needs of others over yourself. This is definitely a recalibration. This is an assessment and evaluation of how that's been working out for you, and a reminder that your gifts are substantial, and that if you don't make the time to exercise them, then no one is going to give you the time. You have to take that for yourself. You have to say no to the things that others often expect of you. And this is part of you speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, not agreeing, not conforming, not going along. So this is a powerful stance in this particular instance, where you are making sure that your sacred space of performance, of showing up, is not violated by unnecessary distractions and disturbances. In the 7th house of significant relationships and others, the Temperance card, there's a lot here that is coming to me from the Temperance card, because I do feel like a lot of the burdens that you have allowed yourself to shed, to release a lot of the ideas, expectations of others that you have set clear boundaries about, has been in and of itself healing to you. It is helping you to heal many relationships in your life, Capricorn. Whether you are in a stable relationship or not, it is not unusual to have tension with family members or family of origin, perhaps that invested a senior role on you when you were truly not prepared for that. And as a result of that, you take responsibility for everything. You almost don't know how to stop, but you have become aware of how that has not served you. In fact, those very people that you felt protective and loving towards do not reciprocate that same concern. Doesn't mean they don't love you or care, but that level of responsibility, of caretaking, of providing has not always come your way. And instead, what you've made space for is your ability to perform those tasks, those acts of love for yourself on your own behalf. And this has been deeply liberating. It's also kind of quieted the power of your energy. In other words, the power of your energy speaks through acts, decisions made, not through words or not flashy show. You don't need to be the identified authority. You're comfortable leading by example. And that is something that has been difficult for you, because you haven't always believed in your own success, in your own victory, in your own growth. Having measured yourself for so long in the way that others have, in the way that society does. You don't necessarily have the things that you've been told you should have in spades by now in your life. And that has really, unfortunately, wounded you, more often crippled you in the effort to show up with the tremendous amount of love, responsibility, and concern that you have. I'm going to clarify the cards around the horoscope wheel, but first I want to ask that if you find yourself resonating with this reading, to please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It's important that more people have access to my readings, and I value all of you for contributing your energy to this reading, any reading that you consume, and I feel the support from so many of you. So thank you for that in advance. I appreciate your time immensely, And the 10 of vessels, or the 10 of cups in the first house, is clarified by the 2 of cups in the second house and the magician in the third house. This is a little bit like the Virgo reading in terms of energy. I feel that you are valuing the sense of self-love and self-respect. I'm almost moved by how little of that you feel you have experienced in your life. And in that way, you have not followed suit. You have loved others. You have sought the approval of others. You've given to others because you hadn't found that deeper connection that you now are finding with yourself. And you value that relationship with yourself above all others. This has come from a lifetime of feeling deprived of an equal partnership, a truly connected partner or a committed partner. I feel that you have accepted friendship, you've accepted a variety of connections with people that were sincere and authentic, but never stepped fully into a meeting of the heart and mind. And I do feel that this is something that you now prioritize in your own life through your own experience, is speaking to that which you are, describing yourself, expressing your feelings, your experience in a way that helps you to prioritize the value of self-regard, self-honoring, self-loving, self-healing. And that is what is empowering you at this time to step out in front of others, to lead in areas where you haven't always felt yourself to be the appropriate leader, not because you're forced to do it, but because the depth of your experience is magnetizing people toward you for what you can accomplish. I feel as though you're stepping out in some public way, that is eminent for you, even as you are on a clear spiritual journey. It feels very internal, but it is impacting your contribution to the world. Capricorns, like so many others, you've chosen this life to make a contribution, to make an impact in your community, in your families, on the world. And you have been restrained from doing that through some deeply wounding personal experiences. And you're now understanding that just because things haven't always gone well in the relationship department, or haven't netted you the stable, loving partner that inspires you, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist or can't exist. And you're very clear that you are motivated by love, the love of yourself and the love for the community, the abundant world you live in. And this is absolutely describing the sense of abundance and resources all around you. In the fourth house, the house of your home, your foundation, we have the 9 of Wands clarified in the 5th house, and the World card in the 6th house clarifying. So the 9 of Wands is interesting because it talks about many experiences pursuing your passion, many attempts to be successful at what you felt was in your heart, in your soul, part of your gift, expressing yourself openly, setting your sights on success, and somehow just being banged up along the way. And that's led to a sense of mistrust that has shaped many of your interactions with friends, collaborators, peers, even colleagues. So there's a sense of being a helpful collaborator, but on your part, a sense of mistrust and resentment even towards people who helped you in the past and actually did nothing of the kind. Instead, you felt used, you felt worn out, you felt burnt out, and even understanding your experience, being honest with yourself about your feelings is overwhelming for you. This truly is a cycle that is coming to a close. And it's coming to a close because you've elevated your regard towards yourself, not towards others. I think you probably saw quite accurately what was happening to you in the past as now. I don't think disappointments in relationships is something you're just figuring out. I think that's something that you were aware of in the present moment in your past. However, there was a kind of acceptance that uh, the love that you didn't feel from others, didn't receive from others, uh, blighted your sense of worthiness. And so you stopped trying for that, stopped expecting it, really expecting exactly what it seems as though you got, which was a big heart that you wore on your sleeve, perhaps, and that was taken advantage of or exploited over and over again. So you're done with that. You see now that that really is nothing about love. It's about you and those other people in your attempts to gain love, to gain approval, to be supported. And you release that with understanding. You release that with love, knowing that all of this was a preparation for where you are now. And that's the best part. The Temperance card in the 7th house is clarified by, oh boy, can't get this undone, the Chariot in the 8th house and the 3 of Wands in the 9th house. Beautiful. Cover up those breasts there. The Chariot card is describing the way in which, having come to a place of honoring your own gifts, your own talents, accepting your differences as critical to the unique gifts that you contribute, then that frees you of trying to get approval or support from others who don't understand what it is you're doing or do not appreciate or recognize your talent or skills. So you're turning away from that. You're standing up for yourself in a way that accepts your journey, accepts your gift, and that is moving you forward. That's providing you with all the focus that you need, particularly in terms of making deeper connections. And this isn't necessarily confined to love. This is about what you value as the basis for strong relationships, contracts, agreements, is those deeper, more authentic relationships. That is the foundation of your success, and you understand that. The Capricorns I'm speaking to have either a lot of Venus, Libra, perhaps Taurus in your charts. Uh, Being in harmony with others is key to your understanding of how the world works, how you gain success, how you gain recognition, appreciation, or rewards. And so you're much clearer about being clear about what you want. And this is what is providing you with this place that you're at now, where you're pulling together your resources, your ideas. You have a vision. You have action. You've taken action. You've practiced this. And this is all joining up with the synchronicities that the universe is providing you. What is often called luck or a lucky break or good fortune is nothing of the sort. This is your consciousness being prepared for opportunities that you now recognize and move towards them by moving towards something that's unfamiliar to you. You know all of this. You know disappointment and heartache, but you're moving towards a place you truly don't feel familiar with. That is connection, that is love, that is authenticity in the exchange of energies. And you want to do that you're moving into that terrain and into those places that are unfamiliar. It's part of what gives you the courage to travel afar, to connect with far-flung communities, distant cultures, different cultures, because you're aware that what you perhaps don't know, haven't seen in your own experience exists out there in other experiences. In the 10th house, the goddess of columns, I don't think I've covered up there, that's a little better. The goddess of columns is clarified with, these cards are stuck. We have the death card in the 11th house and the high priestess in the 12th house. So here you are again, profoundly closing off this idea of the world or of humanity as a finite, describable entity. You've opened up your comprehension of the qualities and levels of sentient life that exist on the planet. So I wouldn't be surprised if many of you are deeply involved in any kind of earth science or um, agricultural cultivation, somehow understanding how to use the planet differently as a function of seeing the planet and the people on it differently. So you're looking at your understanding of humankind and its potential in a new way. You're being reborn into the world in some way that is significant and attached to your own values that are now about potential growth, a willful desire, something that is universally quested for, and that is always a sense of peace. And the sense of peace is something that you are cultivating within. You're understanding now that you can have an impact on the world in the way that you desire. You understand collectively what others desire. You've gained the wisdom through a tremendous amount of heartache for some of the Capricorns I'm speaking to. A lot of loss, a lot of loneliness, perhaps, and you're comfortable in that. But this is not your permanent state of contribution, of participation in the great work that you're here to do. You're reclaiming that. Even if you haven't experienced that in this life, you know you've experienced what it is that the world is moving towards in your vision before. You've seen it happen before. You're aware of it. If some of you are historians, so you understand that some of the qualities we lack now have been in plentiful and bountiful supply in the past in other cultures. And that sense of integrity, of being able to determine what is best, not only for you, but for others, is something that you are moving towards. And it is no wonder that there is a sense of overwhelm, even burnout, because of the way you've tried so hard to please others, to do a good job, to do your best, and receiving very little in the tangible way of authentic relationships. I'm going to finish up this reading with a Soul's Journey Oracle card, and I pulled Purpose. I know what I'm here to do. Enough said there. If you've enjoyed this content, check out more here. Thank you for your likes, for your subscribes. And until next time, namaste.